Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Just
You
loading up.
environment. You're in the office, I guess.
Was that? Oh yeah, because it said 2 p.m. one.
Oh yeah.
Kind of easier to take them from home. Because
if it's 9 a.m., yeah.
well, yeah, or just generally, because
Yeah.
then I have a place to take them.
Yeah. Do we have anything on the agenda today? Let's see. We have Alex. Looks like.
hey, yeah, sorry. This is just like, can you guys hear me?
hmm
Just a gentle ping on a PR that introduces a cache manager to interact with the OPA cache from the sync controller. It's a pretty straightforward refactor, but just pinging you guys, ShareTouch, and anyone that wants to have a look.
Yeah, I'll take a look at this. Oh, by the way, Rita is out, so I mean she won't be joining. I'm also going to be out starting Friday, so I'll try to get this today or tomorrow.
I really appreciate it.
And then Rita is coming back at some point. But I'm going to be missing, I think, the two next meetings.
Oh, wow. Can we get the validating admission policy one through?
Oh,
then?
I tried to review that. I think the GitHub gave me a really hard time because it was like super slow because there's just so many files that are being modified. So I'm going to take a look at it again. It was like I was like typing something and it was like 5 minutes later it's like appearing on my screen. It was so bad. Like I'm like, okay, like I can't do this. Like, it's just not working. So I'll try another time. Maybe I'll do it in a different browser or something.
And
Yeah,
deliver
it was
your
really bad.
comments. And deliver your comments to Max.
Yeah, or I was gonna say ping you actually, Max, but that was
print them out and mail them if you could.
Yeah.
Uh,
If you print it out.
Is this the same PR that like where you're uploading controller runtime and all, or it's a different one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm also sort of waiting on that because I'm doing this external data response cache thing, and I was trying to build locally, and of course, controller runtime broke everything. So I temporarily rebased on your PR, and I'm just testing things out. But for the gatekeeper one, for that feature, I'll just wait for this PR to get merged, and then I'll rebase my PR on top of it.
Yeah, like if the flag is controversial for the VAP stuff, we can remove that. But everything else in there is just like to be compatible with controller runtime.
This might be a repeat, but can you guys just probably explain real quick why we are maintaining controller runtime fork?
For dynamic watches. So if you are watching a constraint kind, right, and then later want to stop watching that constraint kind, or this also applies for syncs, you want to be able to tear down the informer that was doing the watching so that there's no memory leak. And controller runtime currently does not have any way of doing that. Now, I have a PR out to controller runtime. They seem receptive to the idea. Oren, who I don't know if you know or not, like initially tried to get something like this change into controller runtime a number of years ago, and they were less receptive then. But it's been a little slow. Some of that is me being distracted by, okay, now they cut a release. Now I got to like get it into Gatekeeper. Oh, now my attention is on controller runtime again. I haven't seen any comments that are like, get out. And there's other people chiming in on the PR saying, hey, this could be useful for me. So hopefully it goes through. I think right now it's two PRs now. One is non-blocking getting of the informer, and the other one is the thing I'm talking about with the dynamic informer. One of them is probably blocked on me writing tests, so I should get to that.
And the one in the Gatekeeper is the fork of the dynamic informer cache one, right?
Yeah, it's equivalent code. It's obviously like I'm not keeping that fork up to date as they ask for like changes to the code.
But it's copy pasted from that basically.
Basically, yeah. At some point in time. Like
I think my comment on that was, can we comment on the GOMA that, hey, this is like the hash of it, so we don't forget about it.
Oh, I put it in the so I basically did what we were doing before, where there's this fork_info.md file. I don't know if we were calling it fork info MD before, but I'm saying here's the base commit.
Oh, I see it now. Okay, I see. I didn't notice that one. Yeah. I see. Okay. Can we add this to GOMOD, because this is kind of hard to find?
Does GOMOD let you do comments?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, I could put a comment in there.
Because I'm definitely going to forget this. It's in the fork info.
Why are we doing the replace thing, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, okay, what is the SHA for this one, that sort of stuff. Yeah. So we know exactly what we are rendering, because this is like a separate fork, and then it's also like an unmerged one like we did before. But yeah.
Yeah, it's based off of the release, the controller runtime release. But yeah,
I think it's just it's if you can add it to GOMA. I think that was my comment basically, other than the nit I had with the name.
Okay, yeah, I could do that in the next few minutes after this meeting.
Yeah, I think that was what I was trying to write, and then it was like so bad. This was like, I don't know why it is that bad.
I just Slack me the thing that you would like to see, and I'll
Is it also the same reason we're vendoring everything in the repo? Or can we just like go without vendoring so that, our repo size might be reduced?
So once the max PR is merged in controller runtime, then we'll basically we can use the upstream version. So we don't need to use the fork anymore.
No. I'm talking about we also maintain the vendor directory, right?
Oh, that's unrelated. I think it's just the way we've been doing.
Yeah,
can we get rid of that, or?
So vendoring is a risk reduction strategy. Like if there's a dependency that straight up goes away, we would have no way to recover from that and build. So having the vendor directory in lets us do that. It also, and this is less important, but it front loads a lot of the work of building and checking for license compliance, that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool.
I mean, definitely pros and cons for each approach, but then obviously we have this gigantic vendor folder.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I think that's what I wanted to understand. So this is like the decision that we took.
Yeah, that is not related to that, but yeah. Because we don't change the vendor folder at all.
Right. I mean, the reason I asked this may not be related to this PR, but I have seen in few PRs, like there is just like giant vendor diff that we'll probably just ignore and review other stuff. But then what you faced, right, Sartash, is like GitHub.
Oh yeah, that's probably, that's why this is just becomes like so bad to review. Yeah,
it would be nice if GitHub could just ignore vendor directories. Because Golang will complain if your vendor directory doesn't match what GoMod pulled. Like they do a checksum. So there's not much point in having those contents in the review file.
Yeah, I had this weird case with another repo where Dependabot was adding a dependency to the GoMod, and then it was building fine. And then I mean the GitHub let it do that, but then when I tried to build locally, it broke the project.
I think we do a GoMod vendor.
Yeah,
or something
we do.
like
Yeah,
that
we do GoMod
in our
tidy and
GitHub
stuff.
steps.
Right. But this was for another repo. So in some cases where the Dependabot could break it, then I ended up basically adding that like GoMod tidy to make sure that to check so if it's broken. But I don't think Dependabot actually checks it, which was I thought weird because it does generate the go.sum.
Interesting.
This is exactly what I'm doing right now on my local. Oh, which also reminds me, and this I have seen like several other projects also that I'm maintaining, right? I think I think it will be beneficial if we have some sort of a local setup, kind of a either a doc or like a make target. I'll probably open a PR separately, but my idea is like I'm following a certain steps. So like I have to like scout through the make file and figure out the target to build and deploy to sort of test it locally in order to like bring up whole thing with kind and all. So I'm thinking it
Oh, I
will be
think we have
helpful.
one.
Oh, we do?
There's a developer's one. Yeah, Ernest made this with kind and tilt.
Okay, I didn't look it then.
I don't know. Is it a make target or is there some documentation?
No.
There's
like
a
using
make target and documentation.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, my goal was simple, like,
so super quick.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it still works, so that would be a good way to test it.
Sure. Yeah, because I ended up creating like a sample make target that I have in my like local right now, which I'm just like tearing down, building and everything. So I thought that block might be helpful somewhere. And we have like the same pattern in other repos. So
Yeah, try this one and then see if this works.
cool. Thanks.
All right. Is there anything else?
Yeah, I have one. Sorry. While we are at it, like I raised PR to add documentation for PubSub feature, and me and Shortesh. Yeah, so I added dev facing changes there also, but I was not sure drive like details related to driver, where should it go? So any thoughts on that?
Details related to driver, where should it go?
Stuff like how, like what is the methods of interface and what driver includes, and if you want to write one, how would you write one?
This might be a good place for the contributing or developers doc. I don't know. I think you've been consistent with that. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Max.
I mean, as far as like if you want to write a driver, I would say the documentation for the driver interface would be the source of truth, right? So there's like the interface definition and the functions that are required and the doc string for each of those functions, kind of describing the when it's called and what the framework expects from the caller, or sorry, the callee, in terms of behavior.
I think Jay's question here is where would that documentation go? Like, how would somebody can get started with like they want to create a new driver for PubSub and Like where
Oh,
they
this is a pub subdriver. Sorry, I thought we were
Yeah,
talking
pub
about engine, like a.
I mean that
policy
could
engine
also work.
driver.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So for in the docs we have this the contributing section. We have a developers thing, but this is more like getting started sort of thing with
Yeah.
Silk. And then we have the external data, the things, and then that one defines like, hey, like the API and that sort of stuff. I mean, external data itself is more like developer facing.
Yeah.
The docs are more user facing. No, sorry, go ahead, Max.
No, I didn't. Like, yeah, this seems like a parallel thing to external data to me. The one difference is like drivers would need to be compiled in.
But I mean, I think
So
the difference here is the external data is more developer facing feature, while the PubSub is a like a user facing feature too. So like say somebody can get started with PubSub with Dapper like today, but external data, they can only get started through a provider. They cannot get started through Gatekeeper because it's not bundled into Gatekeeper.
Right. Well, there's using PubSub, right? And that's
Yeah.
one thing.
Right.
But the question was for PubSub drivers, which is
yeah.
a different thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And drivers
Should be.
absolutely are not. Like it's user facing for some definition of user, but I think how you're using the word user, like someone
user
who's
isn't
just
like they don't have to
consuming the
develop
compiled version.
anything. Yeah, they basically deploy to their Kubernetes clusters as those users. Yeah. Should that be in like a PubSub documentation under like how to use Gatekeeper, or should it be under the contributing section?
Writing a driver should be contributing, right?
Yeah, okay.
Using a driver should be users.
Okay. Cool. I'll make some changes accordingly.
So we'll have two PubSub sections. One is
Yeah.
in how to use, and then
one is in contributing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And we can mention the existence of either documentation.
Yeah, link to each other. Yeah, they're not far away. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Any other burning topics? Give ourselves back 40 minutes. 39 minutes, actually.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
See you next week.
All right,
Thank
good
you.
to see everyone.